She was the most unique child I've ever met in my life. I always called her my special angel. She had the bluest eyes you've ever seen, and she was a piece of work when she was little. She was so funny. She'd sit out on a corner and hold up a sign saying, "Please stop here. I'm collecting money for the victims from the Oklahoma bombings." And at one point, she convinced a bus driver to let her board the bus and collect money from total strangers.
She always had friends around. I'm not sure that they would seek her out, but she would seek them out.
There was a new girl at Highland Park, and Krissi walks into the cafeteria, and the girl was sitting all by herself, and she said, "You're new, aren't you?" And the girl said, "Well, yeah." And she says, "Well, come on, don't sit here by yourself. Get over here and meet everybody." And that girl ended up being best friends with that whole big crowd of very well-respected and well-liked kids. And during her senior year, Krissi was senior class favorite because of that kind of thing. She was nice to other people.
Once you met Krissi, you were a friend of hers for life.
The first diagnosis was Cushing's syndrome. Cushing's syndrome is an overproduction of the steroids, and I thought she was just gaining weight, but she was always so tiny that was hard to understand. And the reason for the overproduction of steroids is because there was a tumor somewhere in her endocrine system.
But the type of tumor she had was basically, it was untreatable. It was such a rare form of cancer that they just didn't really know what to do.
And we had her for 3 or 4 good years after that.
The cancer was going to cut Krissi's life short, but it could not diminish her spirit. Through the final surgeries, radiation treatments, and chronic pain, Krissi refused to get down. The popular 18-year-old high school senior kept up her schoolwork, spent time with friends, and continued to help feed the homeless. She was a source of compassion to all those around her, keeping relationships as her priority.
My name's Krissi Holman, and my wish was to go see a taping of Friends and meet the cast. I was informed about my condition 2 years ago. Since then, I've had 3 different surgeries, which I love because I love being in the hospital. It's fun having people come visit you and being waited on. I've done 3 rounds of radiation, about to go back for a 4th one. And I'm living every day to the fullest, not taking any of it for granted, because life's a precious thing. And I love my life, and I just keep going every day with a smile on my face.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation was notified of Krissi's situation through her friends. As a result, the foundation provided for Krissi to experience her wish when she attended a taping of the show Friends.
In December of 2002, we were told 1 week in advance that we were headed for Hollywood. And all 3 of my daughters not only got to go see Friends, Krissi even got to be an extra on that particular episode.
Early in the summer of 2004, Krissi's condition grew worse. Knowing the end was near, friends gathered around her constantly, staying at her home around the clock.
When we got the news on May the 3rd, the doctor came to tell us at our house, and she was upstairs. Our whole front yard was full of the whole school. Everybody was here. They were devastated. They loved her. They never left her side from then on. This was 2 weeks before their high school graduation. They got to school the next morning, and the grief counselor called them in and said, "I think Krissi Holman needs to graduate." And they brought the graduation to our house.
Spurred by the actions of classmates and school officials, Krissi became the first graduate of her class during a ceremony at her bedside, with some 350 of her closest friends standing by. It was an emotional time in which those whom Krissi had touched were able to return that compassion back to her during her final days.
I accept Kristen Lloyd Holman, class of 2004, as having met the state and district requirements, and declare her to be a graduate of Highland Park High School, along with all the rights, privileges associated with this degree.
Woo! They never left her bedside. This house was full of seniors, day in and day out.
On May 18, 2004, Krissi Holman lost her battle with cancer, but her spirit of compassion lives on. She influenced her school with an infectious sense of kindness that caused her friends to live as she had, demonstrating love and compassion to others in honor of Krissi.
Krissi was nice to everybody, and that's why she was so well respected. She had a passion and compassion for everybody, and she always supported the underdog, just like that girl who was new to the school.
And Krissi's legacy also lives today through the Family Resource Library at the Children's Medical Center where she was treated. There, books have been donated by President Bush in Krissi's name. And children learn about the compassion of a young girl who touched an entire community.
Krissi was miraculous in always thinking of someone else. She never felt sorry for herself. And like Leon said, he said, well, are you disappointed? What do you think tomorrow brings for you? And she said, I've had a wonderful life and I'm satisfied.